So I'm just going to show you some quick crafts you can do using your watercolour paints and a toilet roll tube. So these are nice and quick, and you can use your imagination and see what you come up with. So when you're painting on the toilet roll tube, you might find that at first it's hard to see the colours, okay? Because the toilet roll tube is darker. But if you just layer them up, and just keep in mind that when it dries, the colours are going to be much stronger. So don't worry too much if you think it's going to be too light. I'm just going to layer up different types of green here to give you an idea of how it works. So it's quite good for you to practice with your blending your colours and mixing them all in. Maybe I might use a bit of yellow as well. Quite good with these as well is that because the card is nice and thick, the paint sort of soaks into them and they dry quite quickly as well, so you can get working on them and you could do lots and lots of different crafts with them. Okay, so as you'll see, it looks quite faint. It's quite hard to see where the paint is, but when it dries, you'd be surprised when you have something the colours are nice and strong like this. So I'm just going to show you some things that I made and explain how I did them, and then I'm going to leave it up to you to see what you've got lying about your house or what things you can find. So something that I quite like to make are these toilet roll tube crocodiles. Now to do it, I have used some pom-poms that I've stuck googly eyes on. Let me get one here. See, I've just stuck a googly eye on a pom-pom and then stuck it onto the toilet roll tube. And that's how you kind of get this effect. If you don't have pom-poms, if you don't have googly eyes, don't worry, because I'm going to show you something else you can use. So this is just a tissue, just a plain tissue. You could use a piece of toilet roll if you don't have a tissue. And the glue that we had from before, you should have in your pack. I'm just going to scrunch the tissue paper up into a ball and then put a bit of glue on your finger. Now this is messy. Just use the glue to sort of squish that down into a really, really sticky ball. Okay. Which is very messy, but quite good fun. And then I might just roll it round to make a nice ball, and you'll have something that looks a bit like that. So there you go, there's one ball, and that was just with one tissue, some glue, squished down, scrunched over, and very, very sticky hands. When it dries, it will go nice and hard. I don't know if you can hear this. Yeah, so it's quite dry. And all I've done is I've just used my black pen and I've just drawn a little pupil on it. And there you have your eye. So you could stick your eye on your tube and you would have that as well. You could do the same with your tissue. Here I've used green pom-poms, but you could do the same just with smaller tissue balls. Maybe cut a sheet of tissue in half and do the same and stick those on as well. And to make the teeth, I've just got a sheet of normal white paper and just cut out the teeth and glued those on the inside, so you could have a crocodile. Similar idea. I've got his little friend who's a kind of flame blowing dragon. So I think if you were to blow it, his flames come out of his mouth. So I'll hold him up nice and close so you can see him. So as you can see, it's the same idea. I've used the pom-poms and the googly eyes, but you could use your tissue and just draw them on, and the same for the nose. To make these flames, I had some coloured tissue paper, which is great if you've got some coloured tissue paper. If you don't, you'd be surprised what you could find sometimes if you have some sweeties. They're covered in nice shiny paper that you could just use to cut into different strips, and then you would get some nice kind of flames, some gold and silver flames like that. So really just have a look and see what you've got. You don't have to have these things. You can use your imagination and make your own things and think about what different creatures you could make out of your paints with your watercolours. For this one, I just used the sort of the reds and the oranges. And for this one, it was the greens, different shades of green that I showed you, and then some really, really dark blue to make the stripes over the top, but you can experiment. Because it's just a toilet roll tubes, you should have lots lying about, or maybe you could start saving them and you can show us what you make. And I look forward to seeing your toilet roll creatures.